So good evening, One Pin, Chitra, Andres, online for the participation in this evening chanting. And we have a Gavin here to learn the Dhamma and to practice. So this afternoon I was busy all day with two visitors and was talking about different aspects of the things in their lives. And talking about how life changes. And that changes often creates a fear of uncertainty, a fear of a doubt that's what's going to happen, and fear of not getting what they wanted it to be. But the changes are always there, whether we like it or not. The change takes place due to the certain circumstances and conditions and the changes that takes place in the environment, which is beyond our condition, beyond our control. Sometimes we do not want to see that change, but suddenly that change takes place and cause a really deep distress and dissatisfaction and troublesome in ourselves. And oftentimes we want to change, so we invest our time, our effort, and even our finance. Sometimes people may take huge chunk of mortgages simply to have that change. Sometimes, in order to change a certain way of living or a certain way of improving, having seen the impatience, are not able to go through with a proper, let's say the banks. Sometimes people go at the short terms that will have a high increase of interest, hoping that that immediate action will bring a cash flow so that they can survive. That prediction, again, the change that you want it to be may not happen or could happen. So whichever the change that we look at it, the ultimate sense that everything is changing. Doesn't matter how good we plan, change is always possible. Sometimes you make a vows, particularly let's say the relationships. When you are in a relationship with someone, you probably are making a significant amount of dedication, determination, efforts, and so on, hoping that it won't change. It will be like this. But eventually, one way or another, it is changing, and it's going to change drastically one way or another, whether we like it or not. That change could be during we're still alive, or it could be die. So that's why we got to be very mindful that these changes are always there. An ability to accept those changes whenever that takes place. But it's not easy because we got used to with it. Because we feel comfort. We are in a comfort zone. And whenever these things takes place, some people can't move on. Many will be fall into the darkness, feeling of stress and depression, an unhealthy lifestyle can cause a severe mental problem. So that's why we got to be very careful with these things. In the meantime, ability to accept or knowing that, and sometimes even just knowing that this is going to change is very troublesome. Forget about the acceptance. The moment when we able to accept that, the change, then there won't be a problem. There won't be any disturbances. The problem is whenever these changes takes place, we cannot function ourselves and causes lots of troubles. And further on, because of that, quite often people unable to make a right decision. When people can't make a right decision and they will be thinking only for the temporal releasement or temporal freedom from such action, thinking that after I've done this and that, I will be happy or I will be free. These short-sighted visions can cause later bigger problems. That's the matter of a mindfulness that we have. If we have developed that mindfulness, and rather than making a decision for the short-term release, we'll be looking for the long-term. And this long-term release only possible when the mind is free, mind is detached, mind has got lots of strength to contemplate on. When you have lots of strength, a mindful strength, then you will be able to contemplate on such things, such issues, such problems, and able to deal with that. So that's mindfulness is the key here. So at the meeting of a few people and talking, sometimes it drains the energy of myself too. Sometimes because of the mental state of a person who come to speak, and the darkness and the demanding and the aggression they hold, without knowing, I receive them, and that causes quite tiresome as well, tiredness. And with that, again, it causes a lack of rest and a lack of practice. It reminds me a story during the time of the Buddha. Venerable Ananda, who was the attendant of the Buddha. So after 20 years of different attendants, the Buddha requested Ananda to be his attendant, and which Ananda accepted in 8 conditions. And after that, Ananda was the attendants of the Buddha. He is the one who organized people to see the Buddha whenever they come to the temple. And it happened that because he was dealing with so many people every day and organizing people to see the Buddha, he didn't have much time. His energy was drawn away, and he was tired, unable to meditate, unable to study. And it happened that one night he was meditating, but he couldn't meditate. He was thinking of people, those who were coming to the temple, and how to organize to visit the Buddha and so on. Then the story suggests that there comes the divine being and told the Venerable Ananda that you gave up a royal life for the sake of a practice, study, practice, and liberate. And now you are not practicing the Dhamma according to the Tathagata has told. You're busy shouting out with the people, thinking about the people. Then this divine being told Venerable Ananda that you must meditate. As being a disciple of the Sakyan, the Buddha, you must meditate. That hallucination that he received from the divine beings that really shaken his body, and goosebumps stood up. Then immediately he started to meditate again. So this story actually demonstrates that it's not about just admonishing lay members, whoever comes to the temple, and spending time with them, but you, myself, in a way, this case, myself, should have some time for my own and contemplate to get a greater understanding. But in the meantime, there's another story that a few mendicants were meditating in the jungle and were instructed by another Syrian monk. It doesn't matter how this monk instructed them to practice, their mentality wasn't then there. They could not practice. And it happened that end of the Vassa, they all left without knowing the Dhamma. And I feel like this is the case nowadays, it's happening. Many people come to see, to get the instructions or to discuss and express the desire to practice the Dhamma. But when it comes to actual doing, they cannot keep the consistency. Very few, handful of people can put the consistency in the practice. Consistency in the study, or consistency even to coming to the temple and practice in the temple. One of the good example is it's been a long time since I came and started this center. Now Gavin will be the third person I've seen the consistency to come and learn. That kept consistent. In a way, maybe the first person to come every day and morning and evening, coming to practice dedicating and determination is there and continue improving. Another two, David and Elena, they never missed 2 nights a week for 4 or 5 years. They continue, never missed. Consistency was there, and I was eager to learn, eager to practice. Whereas the Gavin, ever since joined, the consistency is there, and we can see the change. I believe that Gavin himself see the change within himself. A level of understanding is also very different. So only handful of people after have discussed or after have committed, they could commit to study and practice and get the real benefit from the Dhamma practice. As we know that the Buddha also clearly said that the consistency is the key for the success. And this consistency, to keep this consistency is not an easy thing. It requires understanding, it requires effort, it requires dedication, determination, patience, and so on. I really admire Gavin for this great effort that he is putting in it. So among these, although there are many I met and there are urgency of me myself to practice, having seen even just a one within this 100 is fruitful and feel satisfaction. And whoever practice, definitely, they will see the benefit of it. That's why the Buddha said that there is no, that one cannot compare with the taste of the Dhamma to anything else. The taste of the Dhamma is so delicious that once we have tasted, then it's just in that mode of a bliss, mode of the joys and happiness. And that we also share with other members too, without we knowing we are sharing them. Those are the teachings of the Buddha, that when you meditate, even just for a few moments, in a way you are spreading this peace and harmony to many other beings. Now once we are practicing this regularly, the radiation of this good vibes, wherever we go, it's going to be there. It's going to change our physical reactions, verbal reactions, and mental reactions. It may not be a perfect or perfection, but at least some changes have taken place and people feel comfortable, people feel connected. That's the blessings. And that's the way how we live. And that's the way how we can rejoice this precious life. A life becomes valuable. People come and go. This is very normal in the world. There are hundreds hundreds and thousands and billions of people born in this world, and they died. Among them, only a handful been remembered because they lived their life well. Similarly, a person who has understood the Dhamma and tasted the Dhamma, their life becomes valuable not only for themselves but for the others as well. The practice of the Dhamma is always encouraged, and with that practice, definitely it changes the way we live, the way we see, the way we understand. And with that, doesn't matter what changes takes place, we're able to accept and able to deal with it without causing much trouble. It doesn't mean that you want to be troubled. It will be for some times, but at least we're able to recognize the effect of it and gradually work with that. And in no time, we will be able to overcome and move on with our remaining life. To cultivate goodness for the happiness in this life, happiness following, and the cause for the complete liberation.